Okay, so let's have a look at the Oddsmonkey Eachway matcher. So this is a fantastic piece of software that's been developed by Oddsmonkey that's going to make you lots of money on a recurring basis that you can use on gubbed accounts, so accounts that you've been banned from having special offers from. It's really clever. It takes advantage of the arbs in the each way market rather than on the win market. So most of these arbs go under the radar of the bookies. Um, to understand how this works, we basically need to understand how an each way bet is made up of basically a bet that the horse is going to win and a bet that the horse will be placed. If you think about this, the general principle is that to uh, calculate the place odds, the bookmaker usually arbitrarily just divides the win odds by a fraction of the starting price, so usually by a quarter or by a fifth. However, in the exchanges, these are the odds that you get there, the values that you get there are more based on probability because they're not set by the bookmaker, they're set by the market. So this means that in certain circumstances, arbs are going to occur and you'll be able to make a profit regardless of what happens in the race. So this is really, really useful, especially on big race days like Saturday. There's plenty of money to be made there. I've been using this for the past few months and have been regularly making um, a few £100. Um, well, I'd say it depends how much time you put into it, but at least £100 a day when I've been doing this on a busy race day. So let's have a quick look at the interface. Um, so the first thing to notice is that all of the URLs on here, all of the links through are safe URLs that go to the bookies, so they're not going to be able to track your that they're not going to be able to track your where you're coming from. So let's have a look what's available. It's Sunday today, so there's not a huge amount around, but it gives you a detail of the race, the horse you need to bet on, which bookmaker that you would place the each way bet on, the overall odds for that horse, um, um, which where to place the win bet part of the lay bet, and where to place the place part of the lay bet. Number of runners in the race, that's important. We'll come to that in a minute. The percentage rating. So um, this is pretty much the same as on the odds matcher. It indicates a percentage profit for your bets. Um, and then you see the stake not returned percentage as well. Um, one other key thing to notice here is the ARB rating. So again, you want to make sure that this is ideally beneath 100 because that will be ones over 100 are more likely to be flagged with the bookmakers. Um, Usually you can get this beneath 100 because, like I say, it's taking advantage of the actual difference in each way market instead. Okay, so there's some filters on here that you can use as well, which are pretty handy. You can filter by sports, markets, the bookmakers that you have there, which exchanges that you want. You can limit the each way rating, the stake not return rating, arb rating, and the back odds, the start time, and you can even search for individual races here. And there's also this handy feature here, which is called hide matches, where one withdrawal or change places paid. So if I click on apply, you'll see that the interface will change, and I have a lot more results here. Now, to explain what this red symbol means here is sometimes if a horse is, you'll find that there's going to be non-runners within a race. Sometimes when that happens, the bookmakers will then change the number of horses that they're paying out. So if there was, say, 16 runners, um, then they might be paying they might be paying each way places for one, sorry, for play if your horse is placed second, third, or fourth. If that slips to 15 runners, they will potentially only pay two places. Now, if you've placed a bet already in the morning on this happening, and the places change, this means that if your horse, for example, in this case, comes fourth, then you won't be paid out at the bookmakers, but you'll have to pay out your exchange bet. So if in the unlikely event of this race, the horse that you're backing comes in fourth position, then you're liable to pay out all of the value in the exchange. So that can often be, um, you know, £100 or more. So you want to be really careful of this. By default, I now select it so that that is turned off. And there are things that you can do if there are more retirements and it affects your race. Um, you can de-risk how much money you're going to pay out, but this is one of the drawbacks of each way matcher, and you need to keep an eye on that. Ideally, you will place bets just before the race starts, and then you can take advantage of this more easily. Okay, other things that you've got here is this refresh feature. So this will auto update the odds here every 30 seconds. And let's say you see um, you see a race that you like the looks of. So for example, this one here, the King of Braga, I'm going to get a £1.55 profit. So let's have a look at how that is made up of. Right, so I go into the calculator. It shows me that if I back £14.50 each way at Boyle Sports at odds of 21, and then I lay £15.26 at Betfair at odds of 20, and 16.89 at Betfair at odds of 5.20, I will make £1.62 in total. So there's links through here to all of the bookmakers. So you can see here the King of Braga is in the Limerick at 4.40. I don't know why I chose Boyle Sports because it's a terrible website. Limerick 4.40, okay, and the horse was the King of Braga, so you're looking, hopefully it's odds of 21. King of Braga 20 to 1, so that's 21 in decimal. So you put a bet on there of £14.50, and then you would go to place £15.26, Betfair odds of 20. So the King of Braga here, so it's now moved to 19.5. So what I can do here is I can simply update the odds here, 19.5, recalculate, and you'll see that it recalculates my value that I'm going to win here. And then finally we go to the exchange. We're looking for odds of 5.2 in the place market. So you'll note here this is place, whereas before we had the win. So on the place market, I'm looking for odds of 5.2. Where is it? The King of Braga, and that's gone 5.2. So then all I would do is simply press all of my bets in there. When that race goes through, I'm going to make £1.85 profit, whatever happens on that race. So it's a pretty amazing piece of software. You can just repeat that and repeat that and repeat that. At the moment, it's still fairly early on Sunday, so there's not a lot of matches available at the moment. On a Saturday, on a race day, you'll find that there's lots of matches here for £5, £10, going up to like £20. It all depends on the, the stakes that you're willing to put on. A couple of things to note is that when you find a good match here, so you want to be clicking refresh as often as possible. When you find a good match, you need to be on there really, really quickly. So for example, say this was a profit of 10, I would click on open calculator. Takes me to the Eachway matcher. I'm going to go click, click, click. I'm going to quickly check all of the odds. So with Bet365, it takes me straight through to a quick bet here. So you can see the odds are 17. Check 17. Okay, so you want to pay 12.15 at 7.51 in markets. So you're looking for Magnolia Rose. Magnolia Rose. Sorry, it's the win. Magnolia Rose 16.5. So then all you would do here, you would update that to 16.5. Recalculate, and then in the place 14.37. Magnolia Rose. Sorry, 4.4. You're looking, and you see 4.4. Bang, your bet's done. Easy. So that's one thing. Then the next thing that's possible as well is something called the extra place offers here. So if I click on refresh, so today in the 4:55 at Kura, there is Sky are offering. So if I click through to Sky Bet, they're offering an extra place payout. So I think you'll find that, let's have a look on their offers today. Extra place race, playing 5 places instead of 4, right? So what happens here is you can place your bets. So for example, in this case here, if I place this bet, I would lose £2.57 on that bet. However, so let's just open this calculator. So you'll see that I would place £13.50 with Sky, odds of 12. And if a place payout of 1 to 4, so, sorry, that pays 5 places. Now, in the exchange, however, the place payout is only 1 to 4. It's quite complicated, but that means if this horse comes in 5th place, then Sky is going to pay me the extra place. However, Smarkets, I do not need to pay out the exchange on that on that horse, because the exchange only pays for positions 2, 3, and 4. So that means I would make all of the profit from the exchange. So I could potentially make £100 on that individual horse. So it's a little bit hit and miss. Sometimes what you can do, usually I try to find matches here and back like 5 or 6 horses in a race. You'll usually be able to get some of those laid off uh, for a profit, some of them for no profit, but you know it's up to you how much you put on there. And then if the horse comes in 5th place or that extra place spot, you're in for a big payday. So on a £25 bet, you could potentially make £200 on horse. So that is fantastic. I've used this again in the past couple of months. I've had 3 horses come in so far, and that's made been a added really great added value for me. Okay, so that's the each way matcher at Oddsmonkey. This really is fantastic, especially on a race day or closer to the matches. Guys, you really need to start using this if you can do.